That's too hot. Yeah, hang on a second. I'm just gonna check the food that I microwaved. Oh, it's still cold. Well, where did I put the shotgun? If you say no to this overpriced, cumbersome, blood-tainted jewelry in front of all of these people, we're gonna have a lot of painfully uncomfortable interactions until one of us apologizes and gives the other makeup oral for like a full hour. Hey, I sure hope you're tighter than my grasp on this existence. People are gonna formulate a certain opinion when, during an open house, they look to their right and see a side yard full of broken plastic chairs and my grandfather and I, who when we're together, look like we're in a constant state of trying to hide a body. When Mother Nature was creating the creepiness scale, I'm fairly certain she stuck tiny things with 8 or more legs in the number 2 spot, right in between naked mole rats and the kind of mustache that makes a parent double check where their child is. It's really difficult to scare somebody who sleeps with a machete and loudly threatens to fuck ghosts. When was the last time you heard somebody use the word fiddle to describe a kind of instrument you can play in public without being arrested? You heard it from me first. Don't mess around with fireworks. It's like if you took an entire football team and patted them up and stuffed them into a sack and told them to fuck their way out. What do my wiener and my foot have in common? Well, whether or not you come home with me tonight determines which one I use to push a stool out of the way. Really? You think he lived a satisfying and fulfilling life? Did he even do one makeup tutorial? Hey, does anybody want to come back to my place for a drink? This funeral's kind of dead. You could use it to describe people who sit all day scrolling through Tumblr trying to find validation for the new gender they just made up, or describing their own race in percentages. This website makes me want to shit my pants. Apparently an alien facehugger attached itself to my mouth while I was sleeping and shot an egg into my esophagus, but instead of exploding out through my sternum like it's supposed to, it's just decided to set up base camp where it landed and then piss and shit down into my stomach. We should really stop curing diseases so that I don't have to wait in line as long. When I grow up, I want to study cum.
No! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh my God, no! Please, God, no! Please, no, God, why? Oh shit! Oh fuck! For fuck's sakes! Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh fuck! End it. Right? With a gun. Get a pillow.
Are 70% of your friends addicted to the kind of meth that makes your eyeballs melt to your nasal cavities so that every time you blow your nose, you're actually blowing your liquid eyeballs? Look, I don't know why social services are here. I'm a great parent. One look at my internet search history should show you that I love kids. This effect is called turbulent displace, and it's a pretty accurate representation of what flying through a snowstorm makes your colon feel like. Also, don't put your Pokemon cards on the stove. What the fuck was my problem when I was 5 years old? So he called upon the dark abyssal gods of the Necronomicon to fulfill his divine wish. To become larger. And they answered. Nobody can see me jerk off with the lights on. I have a ton of privacy if I ever bring home a victim. And house centipedes are very real, fucking disgusting, and everywhere. Feel free to touch it, just a little bit of forewarning. You might come away with some thick, soupy black liquid, but don't worry, that's just concentrated self-disgust. That'll come right out in the shower. Weak old basement man. Full cat litter box. Chud breath. Oh! If a sticker is just slightly askew, their head is going to melt into their chest cavity and they will cry into their own lungs, drowning on their agonizing tears right before digesting and then expelling what's left of their skull and brain. Hitler was right. Hitler was right, whale. For people who have many different pets, if your friends give you dubious or questionable reasons as to why they don't want to come over, More often than not, it's because your house smells like 3 or 4 different species of shit. What's the lore behind that? Do they take a lot of face shots, or are they constantly welding their dicks together off screen? Maybe I could write my name in the sky and forget about it as soon as it disappears, as a grim reminder that once I'm gone, nobody's going to remember me. That's a rape joke. So there's always a sidekick waiting here with his fist outstretched, or his dick just out and dangling over a manhole cover. And here comes Uncle Asshole with some unsavory comments about race mixing. So you write him off as a person, which isn't that great of a loss anyway because of that one time during Thanksgiving when he tried to catch you alone in the kitchen. Is petty theft bad enough to just dispose of some swimmers, or do you have to, like, get real close to somebody else's kid? This is gonna suck. Oh! Oh, boy! Oh, none of those felt good. If my dick was on fire and helping your dumb cause would put it out, I think at this point I'd rather just let it burn and take the skin graft. I think I would watch Thor a whole lot more often if at one point Chris Hemsworth referred to Natalie Portman's vagina as Thunder Bay. Be careful where you step when you go to the bathroom at 3 in the morning because you might trip over a slave hook. Show strangers my secret inner racist under the flimsy guise of a prank video. My elbow hurts. Zombies bust in, somebody gets cracked in the head with a shovel and left as a decoy, and that person would likely be me, and it would be my own fault for, I don't know, stealing food or calling somebody's wife a dump truck. You look like a pedophile! You look like a pedophile! You look like a pedophile! Sweaty dudes naked dicks in a locker room or something. Unless somebody got it caught in a press. Buy your dog some condoms and an STD pamphlet. We need to put a stop to the spread of dog AIDS. Like, so close to the tree line. Like, here's the forest, and here's the shit. And here's my car. Like, you couldn't have walked that far to conceal it a little bit. And it's like, that was the forest over there. And then there was also one porta potty. So like, he had so many options. Where's My Hug is kind of like teenage soft rape. There's something really creepy to me about the fact that my dick is out right now, and it's right here, and that the kid's head is right here. I don't know, I wouldn't look a vet in the eye while I was trying to drown a sack of puppies. Nobody should ever repeat anything they hear Drake say because he sounds like he had a stroke in the part of his brain that pronounces things. Oh! Oh! Ah! Shit, that one hurt the worst! Is that a 1993 filthy, stinky homeless person? Okay guys, listen. I'm gonna put you all in a situation where there's nothing but a thin nylon sheet separating your innocent eyeballs from witnessing me try to hate fuck somebody into submission. Like when you're young, it's like, oh, you caught me, here I am, and I'm dick deep, and obviously it's not you who's here. Life is already short enough as it is, and I'm certainly not gonna waste any of mine trying to smooth talk my way into getting fondled under a blanket during a Saw sequel. From within the bloody remains of a zoo animal that you just killed by burning it to death, wrapped in a burrito made of blankets, capture and cannibalize a sibling while you die a slow, hot brain death, at which point you'll promptly void your bladder. You might be dead, but at least you won't be cold anymore. Always into like child rape territory with me. If you think that's bad, I can't begin to describe to you how difficult it's going to be for you to share a room with a friend of yours who has a kid who won't stop crying, and all you want to do is bend over and teach them about how everything they love will disappear one day. Oh God, that sucked! If my name was kind of forceful tickle fight, I don't think there's any law that would stop me. Who cares about a big long story about African genocide when I can have 4 or 5 chapters about that one time you got accused of fat shaming at VidCon? Wow, I don't give a shit about any of this. And then once you realize that the ratio is skewed mostly in favor of this, or whatever else you do, I don't know. Did your bundle of joy burst from your birth canal with a blade in its teeth, 100% ready to avenge the death of its father? When I'm tugging on a long thick tube, the last thing I want is for a genie to come out of there. Show me a humpback whale straddling its victim into weeping submission, and I'll no longer consider that name inappropriate. I.e., if a young lady has a whooping cough, do the convulsions make it better or worse on camera? Likewise, hoods are the only thing that keep a KKK meeting from being just a collection of fat, drunk, middle-aged dads who are all thick with the salt of seeing their daughter kiss a black guy because he's cutting it on their opportunity for some good, clean summertime incest. Oh! Nobody wakes up from a night of being roofied and is reassured when the person beside them rolls over and says, don't worry, you had fun. I bet Beetlejuice would use like his crazy Beetlejuice magic to elongate his tongue so that it could go in her mouth hole and then out another hole. Oh my God.
Don't spill, please. Don't spill, please.
I can barely hold. Enough. Surprise breaking! No! It's me! If you want to feel that much shame and regret when you look back on your actions 20 years later, I don't know, just bang out a kid with a high school chick. While you're in high school. I'm not making a pedophile joke. Oh God, that was everywhere! If I had a female co-star, I'd like her to have a cheap-sounding name so that I could complain about how tight the budget is. I talk about Joey Graceffa for 3 hours, but honestly I know very little about him, and from what I have seen, I think it would be less painful for me if I were to castrate myself with a fish hook than to waste any more of my time on his shirtless boy toy nothing videos. He's had 3 abortions. How do I know? Because he keeps the leftovers in mason jars above his bed so that anybody he brings home knows what the stakes are. My God, she got ugly. I think the 5th miscarriage really took a toll on her. Yeah, she's just letting it all hang out now. And over. Hey, newsflash real quick. YouTube isn't a community, it's a video uploading and sharing website. Saying YouTube is a community is kind of like saying a group of artists talking to each other is a business meeting. You can pretend to be more important than you are all you want, but at the end of the day, all you're doing is making a bunch of stupid stuff for strangers to look at. Really upsetting, all the things that I just said. Walking away.